Hello everyone, welcome to the Google Cloud Platform tutorials. In this video, we are going to see about getting started, create and manage cloud resources quest. In the previous video, we have completed the Google Cloud Essentials quest and now we are going to work on this. And this video is brought to you by Zeedup Technologies. All these labs were covered in the previous quest, so now we are going to perform the challenge lab. Start the lab. The marks allotted were 100 here. We need to score that in order to complete this challenge lab. Now, within a minute, we will be getting the credentials. The first step, we are going to work on creating and managing cloud resources. Soon after we get the credentials, we'll sign in into it. Credentials were not given yet. We need to wait until they were given. And the first task that was allotted to us is creating a Project Jumphost instance that we'll be creating now using this cloud shell. Now open the Google console with the given user ID, the password, accept this and move ahead. The console will be open and we need to agree and continue this. And the first step that we are going to do is activating our cloud shell. Click on continue and then cloud shell is going to open. I'm going to increase the font size here. The first command that we are going to use here is that I'll be providing you the command, the file of the command, so that you can execute those. And the commands that were needed for creating a Jumphost instance is these commands need to be executed. We need to authorize before the thing is done. And here the instance is created with the name nucleus jumpshot. We have used the command zcloud compute instances create nucleus jumpshot. This is the name of the instance, and it is in the zone of US East 1B. The machine type is given as F1 micro, and some internal IP and external IP has been allotted to this, and we will be checking whether the instance has been created or not in this first. And here you could able to see the instance has been created, and we'll move further. The next step is to create a Kubernetes Service Cluster that we are going to create it with the use of some commands. And now open your console once again. And we are going to execute some of the commands in order to create the Kubernetes cluster. We'll be getting some warning, but we are going to ignore that, and the cluster is getting created here. Is configured, and it is going to take some minutes to complete this form and creation of the cluster, so there's no need to worry here. Just wait for a second and the cluster will be created. Is being deployed, and after it is getting deployed, the health check will be done. Wait until the cluster is getting created, as it takes some minutes to complete this process. And the cluster is going to create now. Wait for some time to create this cluster. It will take some time in order to complete this. And there's no need to worry. We have lots of time left. It is given as 1 hour and we are left with 51 minutes, so there's no need to worry. The cluster creation, it just takes some time and we can wait until it gets created. And yes, master is healthy. wait for one more minute to complete this, and now the cluster is being created and the deployment is also done. And now we need to define the port number and the type of the cluster. So for that, we are going to execute this. And here the task has been completed, which is creation of our Kubernetes cluster. So we'll check whether is it completed or not. It was telling that something is left. So we'll see what is actually left there. And everything has been completed, and we'll just check here once. And yeah, it was telling that task has been completed. So once we check here, we can see a green tick mark. And now the task 3 is creating a HTTP load balancer that we are going to create it now. In this, just get into your console and just copy these commands that were given here. And now we are going to execute some commands that will help us to create a HTTP load balancer. And all these commands will be giving you in a separate file so that you can able to get these commands and execute those. And it was telling that there's no such file found. We'll try it once more. Execute those commands once again by first following this given command and then just execute that. Here the web server template has been created with the machine type of Z1 small, and this is the time period that has been created in which time the template has been created. And now we are going to execute the other command. For creating a web server group, in the previous step we have created web server template. and that is going to create now. And here we get able to see the web server group has been created. And the next step, we are going to create the firewall by giving some firewall rules to it. We are going to execute the firewall commands. And here we go. The firewall has been created. I mean, it is in the process of creation, and here we get able to see the firewall has been created with the name of web server firewall, and instance group is also getting created. The next thing that we are going to do is click on enter, and we are going to execute the next command for basic check. And we will see whether the task has been completed here or not. And we need to do these backend service, and URL map and HTTP proxy is also needed to be created. So we'll get into the console once again and the cloud shell and execute some of the commands. In this, we have given the region, the firewall, and that is updated here. And the next step is creating the URL map and HTTP load balancer proxy. So continue with this. The proxy has been created and the URL map creation is also done. In the last step, we are going to follow some of the forwarding rules to create HTTP content rule. And these were some of the commands that we are going to use here. In this, the last step, And I think the task has been completed by now, and we'll see whether is it completed or not. Just check the process here. It's telling the task has not been completed yet. Just go here on this flag and click on check my progress, and it is saying that we have secured 40 out of 60. It's okay, and we'll see whether is there anything left. So I think we need to go into this port 8080 and just copy the IP address that we got here. After copying that, we need to open a new tab and paste that IP address in a new tab, and it was giving that error could not be connected, and we wait for a second. We'll be getting an error here, so we are going to try another IP address, which is HTTP content role. Sorry. And yeah, the thing will be done within few minutes, and it is going to take some more time. And this is about creating web server frontend, and we have already completed the tasks that have been allotted to us, and this is about creating and managing cloud services in the cloud resources. And when we check it once again, we'll look into this once more. Wait for some time so that this process will be done. And we'll see whether the thing has been completed or not. And this is going to complete within a minute, and we'll see whether the task has been completed or not. Just reload this tab, because it takes some time and we need to just reload this. If we don't reload this, we can't able to get the thing. And yes, you could able to see the task has been completed. So this is about creating and managing cloud resources challenge lab. The commands and all that were needed for this particular lab will be provided along with this video to you. And thank you for watching.